Good morning, everyone. Happy
Good morning.
Saturday. Well, I think depending on who's on, some people it might be Sunday. So we have some on the other side in Australia and
On
stuff.
the other side.
On the other side. On the other side of the world.
Is that down there? Remember when we were kids, they said if you dug too
Down
deep,
under.
dig the time?
Yeah, so I know so we might have some lingering people because technically I had to make the live cast for 10:10 at 10:10 last minute because it wasn't made. So that's what if you're curious as to why it was 10:10 or you couldn't find it 20 minutes ago, that's why. Yeah, my mom even texted me. She was like, "I can't find the live cast." So let's see who's here. We have Hillary, my mom, and Chris so far. Anybody else? Anybody else in the chat? Willowdean. Willowdean Stiffen Adams.
What are you doing, Greg?
I'm doing interpretive dance, as Chris suggested.
Oh.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, I could see without reading the comments that would have been a really strange look. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Hi, Betsy.
For people watching
Betsy
after
Co.
who don't see the comments as they scroll by.
Yeah, they're.
Sorry.
That's why I try to also show the comments when they're relevant sometimes.
I was talking to somebody that has a brand new book out, and I was like, are you going to do an audiobook? And then we were like, how do you do an audiobook and describe pie charts? Well, there's a chart that's circular and it's segmented. How do you do that in an audiobook? Describe a chart or a listing or something like that. That's
wow.
So that would be along the same lines as not seeing the comments, trying to do an audiobook that's technical. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have plugins for browsers, like for people who are visually impaired, right? That will interpret a web page, and if you mark up your tables the right way, then it will.
Yeah.
It will like read the columns and do that. And now I actually haven't listened to see how that sounds.
Now Greg has a new project.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, Greg has a fun little something to show us at the end.
It's a secret surprise for after the
at the end. For the end of the live cast.
A new toy Greg has made. Let's see. We had who else? Leslie from windy Western Arizona. Is it cold there in Arizona right now, Leslie? Greg and I can't compare with Greg and Mags because they're in Canada and it's super cold, but it's pretty cold in Florida right now.
Minus 29.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, see, mine it says it's only minus 14, but I don't know. It was really, really. It felt like minus 29 on the morning walk with the dog.
It's going to be 29.
Oh,
this weekend.
Positive for you. Positive and in Fahrenheit. This is in Celsius and negative.
Chris is asking if I watched the Thon streams, saying that was he pestering you?
A few times. Yeah. You know, Chris likes to joke.
My mom says it's 72 in Miami, and she says brr. That's probably my dad. My mom likes the cold. My dad not so much.
Yeah.
I like
Donna.
There's something about being outside on a jacket, and it's so cold that your jacket sounds like it's going to break. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. It really, truly.
I've never experienced that before. I've never been anything colder. Pretty much the coldest I've been maybe was when we were in Salt Lake in February, March. That's the coldest I've really. Right. The snow there. That's it. So. Look, June is here. Hello,
is
June.
it inside? Are there mountains around it, or is it?
Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's gorgeous.
Love they're beautiful.
It's like you fly into over the salt flats, but into like a bowl, and the mountains just kind of circle the city. It's gorgeous.
Nice.
Yeah.
One day.
My mom's asking about New York City. I don't think it was as cold. Like when I was in New York is when I was in Salt Lake, but I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't really snowing in New York, but it was snowing in Salt Lake. So
I remember all the nice cold weather gear from Mount Washington. All right. So I have
What do you have?
I have something to share.
Ooh, our question of the week.
Excellent.
I'm at a disadvantage. Here we go. I'm going to make it bigger. There we go.
Oh, so
That's
close.
very big. Nice.
That nice and big, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Question of the week: which of your ancestors migrated the further? Make sure you vote those questions up. Oh, let's see. I'm going to scroll down. Oh, we've got a best answer. Somebody has Michelle Parker voted up. So my great-grandmother, Rose Carmichael, was born in Antrim, Ireland on the 26th of July. She married my great-grandfather in Napier, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand on the 1860s. Quite how she got to New Zealand, I've not found out. I think she swam. Although it appears she traveled with her brother Thomas, who returned to Ireland to marry his childhood sweetheart. That's interesting. Maybe they were a home child, which that would fit with the time frame. Interesting. That's interesting. So going from County Antrim to New Zealand, how many miles is that? Somebody want to find that for us? Let's see. Tommy Buck, the ancestor I currently know that migrated the furthest is my paternal great-grandfather, Elias Buck, Lancaster County to Louisiana. Not quite Antrim to New Zealand, but pretty good. Let's see. I feel like it should be further back, but in truth, it's probably my mother. Eastern Germany, Poland to Western Germany to Santiago. Oh, gosh. Santiago, Chile to Chicago. Boy, she was a mover, wasn't she? Let's see. My direct ancestors have, as far as I know, not migrated far. Mecklenburg to Schleswig-Holstein, others from Thuringia. All right, cool. So Dieter's people stayed pretty close. My family, after they got to the United States or got to the colonies, they stayed pretty, my family particularly stayed pretty close to the eastern United States. Kent, England to New South Wales. That's a pretty good long one. To join
Not
a
Wales, New South
utopian
Wales.
cult. Wait, Kathleen Cobcroft. And then for some reason hopped over to South America to join a utopian cult.
That's would be an interesting story.
That's a pretty far away. That's just ideologically, that's a long way. Let's see. Johannes Schlenker from Schwenningen in Württemberg, Germany. But where does he go? Let's see. He goes to Chicago, Illinois. There we go. Let's see. All of my English, Scottish, and Irish ancestors who sailed to New Zealand. Maybe the best answer question, that's where you need to check out. That's from Robin Lozier. Hey, Robin. Let's see. That's easy. My father snuck across the Hungarian border into Austria on foot in the snow on his 20th birthday in 1957, arrived in Idlewild, New York. July and got a job. How fun. Let's see. Judy Adden. Let's see. Born in Russia and found her way to Nebraska. There's a lot of Ukrainian, Russian people who settled in the Canadian prairies, which is, I find just fascinating. Let's see. On the 1930 death certificate, my great-grandfather, Thomas Luther Lovelace, says his mother came from Holland to Pennsylvania. Interesting. Let's see. My great-grandparents, Antonio and Grazia Raya, made the journey to Brooklyn from Menfi, Agrigento, Sicilia, Italy. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Antonio and Grazia Raya from Menfi, Agrigento.
Oh, there you go.
I like how all of it, I think it's funny how everything is in the Italian form except for Italy.
Yeah, Italia. Yeah. It's funny. I do the same thing on WikiTree. I use the Italian names and then I put Italy at the end. I don't know why, but I do. I put Nouvelle France for my French Canadian ones. But
There you go.
I don't know.
Here we have Chris Ferri.
Chris Riolo.
My Italian great-grandparents traveled over 4,000 miles. I like this. He put the kilometers in, 6,137 kilometers.
Thank you, Chris.
From Italy to Haverhill, Massachusetts. That's crazy.
He also said I forgot to mention in my post that my grandfather Robert went to Japan during the war.
That's a pretty long ways, but he didn't migrate there. Is that the question? Is how? Let's look real quick.
How far? Like, what is it? Migrated. What does that consider? Yeah. Like, you had to live there for a certain amount of time or stay there?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Let's see. I have a small number. This is from Ava Ekbald. A small number of ancestors who came from Wallonie to the mid-Swedish iron districts in the 1600s. So about 15 kilometers in the 1600s. That's pretty good. Huh. On the other hand, a branch of my paternal grandfather mostly stayed within a few kilometers from where they were born. My dad's first cousin, Christopher, immigrated from Pontypridd, Monmouthshire, Wales, to New South Wales in 1968. That's cool. Wiltshire to Christchurch, New Zealand. Cool. Oakville, Ontario. Woohoo! From Birmingham. Listen to this. The distances are from Monmouthshire, Wales to New South Wales, 10,661 miles. From Christchurch to New Zealand, 11,835 miles. That's crazy. It's a toss-up among my fifth great-grandfather, County Antrim for Georgia, and see Robert Purdy from Antrim to St. John, New Brunswick, and then John Hogan from Cork. Ooh, tour of the Royal Navy sailing between Brisbane, Australia, Hong Kong, immigrated to Boston in the end. My mother, 125.3 kilometers from Giderland, Netherlands to another part of the Netherlands. Thanks, Afe. Oh, my great-grandfather, Lithuania to Paris, to Argentina to Chile.
June wants to know if her walking the Appalachian Trail counts.
Did you really, June? The whole way?
Wow.
I'm impressed. I'm really impressed.
I guess it counts in the question if she emigrated, if she moved to the new place at the end of the trail.
Yeah. Did you not go back to where you started? I've done parts of the Appalachian Trail, and whenever somebody tells me they've done the whole thing, did you do it all in one swipe, or did you do it like I've done piecemeal? Let's see. Rita Nair, my husband arrived from Württemberg with 14 children, settled in Wisconsin. Wow. Hilda Caroline Larson from Finnmark, Norway. Tip of Norway stretches over Finland and the Arctic Circle. See, her father went to California around the time she was born, leaving her mother alone with two small children, a newborn. And when her father had sent for the rest of the family to come, her mother packed up everything and went with three small children from there to England to get a boat across the Atlantic to New York, and then a train across country to the West Coast. Their boat collided with another ship and was diverted to Halifax. So they were put on a train to Vancouver. This is a crazy story.
Yeah.
They missed their connecting train to California. She didn't speak any English and had very little money left. By complete chance, a Finnish man found them on the street and decided to help them. He fed them, helped put them on a train to San Francisco, and sent out a letter ahead to Hilda's father to meet them there. Oh my gosh, how fabulous is that story? 7,000 miles. That's a pretty long one.
So June said she did in the mid-1970s both ways. The first time was 1 month for 5 days, and the second time was about a 6-week trek.
So she has or hasn't done the entire thing. She says she's done it both ways. That's
Sounds like she
crazy.
did both, like a full.
Still impressive either way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, we had no idea. My backpack's still down there. I wouldn't dare put it on my back these days. My mother immigrated from Alexandria, Virginia. Alexandria, Egypt, to New Jersey, to Alexandria to Pittsburgh. Cool. Oh, there's lots more pages. You guys want to learn more about all these wonderful stories? Go and check it out. Barbados. And make sure you vote all of them up. Do any of our fun people in our chat have any exciting stories about, aside from June. Walking the Appalachian
Some people had talked about them. Janine just said on my dad's side, my 5th great grandfather traveled from somewhere in France to Pennsylvania.
Somewhere in France.
That place that
Herbertsheim.
Alsace.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. My yes, like maybe the furthest that I know about is on my mom's side, her family went from Italy to Guatemala.
Wow.
So, and I went to Japan and I did live there. So I don't know if that counts. I don't know.
Kiki says, I haven't been that far.
No, she hasn't.
Did you have her before you moved to Tallahassee, or?
No, I got her here in Tallahassee, so she's a Tallahassee kitty.
Shall we switch to the profiles?
Great.
What is our profile theme this week? Comedians.
Our theme is which comedian are you most closely connected to? So I'm going to do Mags and zoom in on that. So because Bob Saget had just recently passed, we chose that theme. Well, I didn't choose it. Someone chose that theme. So there's the list of the ones that are the profiles of the week. So I'm just going to go through them. There we are. Robert Lane Saget, also known as Bob Saget. And since he just recently passed, his profile is rather slim because obviously he was a living person up until very recently. Son of Benjamin Morton Saget and Rosalind Comer, born in 17th of May, 1956 in Philadelphia.
He had the same, almost the same birthday as my dad. Almost. My dad was the 13th.
But the same year too?
No, 52. It was a useless comment to make. So
no, that's no. Are you related?
I don't know.
Oh, I did the check. There's only one of these that I'm related to, and it's not the one you might think. And unfortunately, I can't remember now.
Not the one from Canada?
It's not the one from Canada. Well, it might be the one from Canada. But it's not the one with Clark. It's not the Clark. Anyways, Bob Saget was known, probably best known for the Full House show and the America's Funniest Home Videos. And anyways, he's already got a Find a Grave entry, which I find interesting, considering that they've just changed their format or their policy.
Their policy, yeah.
So
I don't know if it's like, do you think it's the same for famous people?
Oh.
Like for like celebrities and stuff? I don't know.
That's a good point. I wonder. I didn't actually investigate to see who the person was who made the citation. I didn't want to be that nosy, but that is our WikiTreeers may or may not realize that was a change that was just made recently to Find a Grave.
Daniel, I'm trying to think of Daniel's last name, the Irish kid genealogist. He's the one who drove that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's basically to protect people's privacy and give them some time to mourn before someone else puts up a marker and a memorial.
Right.
So it's a good idea. Then the next one, Borga Marinus Rosenbaum, more commonly known as Victor Borga, was born in 1909, 3rd of January, in Mosaisk, Trosumfund, Copenhagen, Denmark.
You ever heard him play?
I think I've seen clips of him playing. So he's a comedian, but he's also a pianist.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved seeing him.
Yeah. So that was really neat. So born in 1909, passed away just in 2000, December 23rd in 2000 in Connecticut. Known as the Danish Canadian, the Clown Prince of Denmark, which I think is a great title. I mean, if you're can't be the Crown Prince, then the Clown Prince is, second best. So I just think that's very cool. His first marriage, he was married in Paris, so that's pretty cool. What I found interesting is that he arrived in the States aboard a ship that had been sent by the president, your president at the time, Franklin D. Roosevelt, to evacuate the Crown Princess from Norway.
Oh, Norway.
It says the Crown Princess Martha of Norway and the former minister to Norway. So he was on the same. He traveled across, or he escaped from Europe in 1940 before the war, or at the very beginning of the war, I guess, because it started in 1939 in Europe, on a ship with royalty. So I just thought that was a really interesting fact. But he did become an American citizen. Here's some pictures of him playing, and anyway, very nice.
Yeah, Betsy says that she got to see him live in New York City when she was a child. I got to see him as an adult somewhere before he passed, not long before he passed. But I remember having really good seats, and he would turn and just stare at somebody at the audience and not say anything or play anything, just stare at them for a minute, and then he would say something, and you're like, "Oh, don't look at me! Don't look at me!"
That's funny. The next one is Graham Arthur Chapman, and he was a member of. If you don't recognize the picture here, he was a member of the Monty Python's Flying Circus. Born in 1941 in Leicestershire, England, and passed away way too early, October 4th, 1989, in Kent, Maidstone, Kent, England. What I found interesting about him was that he excelled in sports and science, and he became a doctor. He actually studied and became a doctor. He started his medical training in 1962, just like he had his brother John. St. Bartholomew's Hospital, a famous hospital in London, but also had joined a sketch group at that time, toured New Zealand. New Zealand will come up again in one of the other profiles, but discovered that medicine wasn't going to be his life's ambition. So he followed his heart and started working alongside John Cleese, and then the whole Monty Python's Flying Circus thing happened. And so he was a member of that, found his lifelong partner, adopted a son, but sadly they discovered that he had cancer, and he went through treatments and chemotherapy, and it gets kind of sad at the end of the profile, as some of them do,
Well, the end of the profile is.
Well, what's coming. It's not always a happy time.
We're all about those birth and death dates.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But the first broadcast of the Flying Circus was the 20th anniversary of that was when he passed away, and one of his fellow members of the troupe called it the worst case of party pooping in all of history, which is a way of making it a joke. But the neat thing, what I thought was interesting was that the Python members of his troupe stayed away from his funeral because they wanted to give his family privacy, because they figured if they showed up, it would become a media circus with all those comedians. It would become a circus. But they sent him flowers in the shape of a giant foot, which was the giant foot that falls on the plant. And when John Cleese did deliver a eulogy, he said, "Graham Chapman, co-author of the Parrot sketch, is no more. He has ceased to be, bereft of life. He rests in peace. He kicked the bucket," and then blah, blah, blah. Basically, they redid the Parrot sketch as part of his eulogy. I thought that was very, very touching. And then the fact
I do love Monty Python. 'Tis but a scratch.
Exactly. Yes.
Funny walk.
Yeah. And I love even at the very end about where his ashes have been scattered. You know, they get their three possible: launched into the air over Wales by a giant fireworks at the New Year's display, blasted into the skies by a rocket, or scattered on the mountains of Snowdonia, Wales. It is uncertain if any of those are in fact true. So kudos on the person who put together this.
Yeah,
this
it's
profile.
very well done.
Very well
job.
done. It's a great mixture of well truth and fact, but also it really gives you a sense of the person, which is great.
Sorry, Sarah. Every time I post somebody's fun comment, we cover your face up. But
That's
at least this time it's your mama.
So here's someone with the same last name as me, Clark. Even spells it right with an E on the end. But yeah, we're not.
You're not related to him?
Not related to him. Now,
well, maybe we just haven't found that connection yet.
Well, Clark is my adoptive father's name, but I don't think we're not. But he's not related either. So, anyways, and this guy was born in New Zealand. Remember, I mentioned New Zealand was going to come back. The 29th of July, 1948, in Palmerston North, New Zealand. Now, it doesn't say which island that's on, whether it's the North Island or the South Island or one of the others, little wee ones. And passed away on 9th of April of 2017 in Grampians, Victoria, Australia. He has a fairly short profile. I'd love to know more about him, but New Zealand and Australian comedian, writer, and satirist. I like that he was listed as one of the 50 coolest Kiwis ever because of his iconic character, Fred Dagg. And that's a neat list to be on, one of the 50 coolest Kiwis ever. Have you ever heard of the Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a comedy group. It's two guys, Jermaine and Brett, and their shtick in the show was always that they were the fourth most popular comedy folk rock group duo in New Zealand. They may be the only one who was a comedy folk rock group in New Zealand, but they claim to be the fourth most popular one. So. Anyways, would like to know more about John Clark. And if anyone here in the chat, well, we don't have Benjamin, might be our best bet to give us details. But he's probably sleeping.
Yeah.
What are you doing sleeping? Somebody
No,
somebody call him. Call him and wake him up.
Okay. John Cleese also is mentioned. Now he's still alive. So we have a birth date in the 30s. And his profile. What were you going to say?
Another Monty Python.
Another Monty Python, yeah. And the other thing he did was Faulty Towers. And I don't know if you watched that, but that is a hilarious show. I really enjoyed that. I think my favorite episode of that one was when his car stopped and he was just so frustrated with it, he couldn't get the engine to work, is he took a branch from a tree or whatever and just started beating the hood of it with, in frustration.
Did it start?
No, it didn't. That did not help at all.
My mom just said a fish called Wanda.
Right. That is a funny one. Yeah. There's a fishy. Oh, I'm a fish. Are you?
So he has a huge, long profile. So someone's put a lot of work into this. And I'm not going to go through and read it all because we'll never get through the rest of the thing. But what I wanted to comment on was the how nicely it's done and how it's broken up into little sections and with the pictures inserted here and there. And I was going to hit edit to see how they did that because it just looks so nice. And because it's a private profile and I'm not on the watch list, I can't hit edit. So I don't know the secret of how this is done.
There is when you upload an image, if you go over to the right-hand side, it gives you all of the wiki markup to insert left, right, center, larger picture, smaller picture. You can just grab the wiki markup and plop it in.
Okay. Well, that's what I want. I wanted to comment how well this was done and then ask how so other WikiTree members here could figure that out. So thank you, Meg.
There you go.
There we go. So when you uploaded the image, that's where you okay.
So if you click on the image, unless it's attached to that profile, you might be able to see that markup. Now scroll down.
Scroll down.
Keep going. Oh, it's private or whatever.
Oh, so it doesn't give me the. But down here somewhere there would be a.
Yeah.
code that you could copy and then paste it into the bio when you're doing the edit.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that.
I always find it surprising finding WikiTreeers who don't have maybe the same interests that I do, that I know something that they don't know, which surprises me. Like,
well, I knew it was possible somehow, but I just didn't, I had not noticed that part. Phyllis Diller.
That's my closest.
Is that your closest?
I think it's everybody's closest.
Yeah, there's lots of people that it's the closest to.
She might be mine too.
And my mom really wanted to be related to her, but we're not. So.
Oh, that's too bad. So she was born in 1917. Actually, that's the same year as my adoptive father was born. Totally different date, different location, but anyways, passed away on August 20th in 2012. So just 10 years ago.
We always thought she was going to live forever like Betty White.
Yeah. But she did well. She made 95.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Sassy, screeching, rapid fire stand-up comedy. She's known for.
Yes.
And just hilarious. I love when they include some quotes in the profile. I've mentioned this before. So here's one. I once wore a peekaboo blouse. People would peek and then they'd boo. And then this one, I love this. I never made Who's Who, but I'm featured in What's That? She was just it was good. And there was another one down here. Anyways, this is again another well-written profile, so I'd recommend you reading it. But where was it? Oh yeah, I realize this is another quote from one of her bits. She refers to her husband always in her routines as Fang. Yeah, I don't know where she came up with that, but that's when she says Fang, that's who she means, her husband.
Yes, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So, here's the one-liner that she used. I realized on our first wedding anniversary that our marriage was in trouble. Fang gave me luggage. It was packed. My mother damn near suffocated. So, yeah, she liked to have it so that at the very end you'd realize, the big realization.
But she would never have said "dang."
No, she probably wouldn't. Oh well. Anyways, again, well done, and very interesting, and person lots of people enjoyed, and I think many comics owe their
yes
owe a debt to her for things that she's opened up. Next, Hans Gustav Ekman.
Gusta.
That's right. And Gusta Ekman was a Swedish actor, comedian, grandson of the legendary Gusta Ekman. So,
well, there you go.
There you go. And again, this is a short one, so I don't know if we have any Swedes in our viewing audience who have any more details, but he was born in the 20th of July, 1939. His father was Hesse Ekman, and his mother, Agneta Wrangel. They lived in Stockholm. His parents got divorced. He has 3 younger brothers, and he's notable for his hilarious performance as Pappahammer, which must be the character that he had portrayed.
Yeah, cool.
So, looks like he'd be a fun guy.
Fun.
Whoopi Goldberg. Now, the next few are, Whoopi's one of the ones that was featured that, again, is still alive. So
37 degrees for me, and I noticed Chris Ferriello as well.
Oh, wow.
37. That's a
for Whoopi?
Long way. Yep.
Wow. I think I'm connected to all of them. But I guess if they're connected to the main tree, we're all connected somehow, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this week's in particular, a lot of them were, I think my closest was at 21, and then the rest were way beyond that. So, very famous, of course, Whoopi. There's not really much I can say except that she was born in the 50s, daughter of Robert James Johnson and Emma Harris, American actor, author, comedian, and her stage name was taken from a whoopee cushion, referring to the gasness that she would have right before performances and letting it out like a whoopee cushion.
That's hilarious.
That is funny, isn't it?
A fun fact that I don't think many people would have ever known.
Yeah.
It's a smelly show.
The Smelly Show. That's right. Well, it's interesting. Like her profile says Whoopi E. Goldberg, formerly Johnson's, because her father's name was Johnson, so that would have been her maiden name, I guess.
So it doesn't have a real name.
But her real name is here in the bio, Karen Elaine Johnson.
Hmm.
Born November 13th, 1955 in Manhattan, New York. So I wonder when she officially changed her name to Whoopi.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I didn't. Yeah, I thought Whoopi was her name. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But if you read closely, it's only mentioned once. It's not mentioned officially as former birth or whatever. Her last name would be there, but not.
Yeah.
I gotta look for Antipodeans.
Antipodeans. Antipodeans. The Antipodes aren't they at the bottom of the world? Is it the opposite of a pole?
That's I'm trying to figure out what it is that Hillary Gadsby's talking about. She's closest to the Antipodeans. Okay.
Oh, look, Norman Weston, new to WikiTree, first time here from England.
Hey, Norman.
Hello,
Hi,
Norman.
Norman.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
That's great. Yeah. Bob Hope is next, and he's also another very famous person. Again, someone who changed his name was originally born as Leslie Towns Hope, but changed his name to Bob, and it's in here in the profile because he wanted a name that was had more of a friendly hiya fellas sound to it. So he switched from Leslie to Bob.
I really enjoyed Bob Hope.
Me too.
He was very quick with his humor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked him and Bing Crosby. I like their pairing, their chemistry together, in the shows they're in. Very famous for many movies and many things he did over his life. But he had a huge contribution to the USO and stuff he did for cheering up the troops. And one of his biggest honors that he received was in '97 when Bill Clinton named him an honorary veteran for all his work that he had done with the military and helping out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I've been given many awards in my lifetime, said Bob Hope, but to be numbered among the men and women I admire the most is the greatest honors I've ever received. That's nice. Yeah. So well done. Well done, Bob, and well done the person who put this profile together.
I saw, as you were scrolling, I saw apparently there's a term coined, a dance-a-median. That's what he was.
Oh,
there it is, yeah. So the group called dance-a-median.
But that is like a subgenre of comedians, are dance medians, because they can sing and dance. And Barry Humphries, AOCBE. I'm not sure what AO stands for, but CBE is from the British Empire, Companion of the British Empire. Is that Australian order, maybe? Because he was
Australian.
He was Australian.
He's
Dame Edna. Yes.
Oh
I didn't recognize it. Now, if you look closely, you can sort of see a little bit of Edna in there. But there he is, dressed up as Dame Edna, his most famous.
Boy, I would run a mile in the opposite direction if I saw her coming towards me with a mic.
So, born in Australia in the 1930s, and moved to London and worked there. But then he did return to Australia in 1970. And Dame Edna's name, or full name, is Mrs. Edna Everidge, apparently. And she was in 2 movies, and then voiced many characters. I didn't realize, but
The Hobbit?
The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, the 2012 movie. He voiced a character in that. So that was one of the more recent animated versions. Probably not the one that I watched as a kid. And I don't know The Magical Land of Oz from 2019. Married 4 times. And then it goes on to talk about his career. It talks about some of, there were places there where it gave some of his critiques, and some of the critics weren't as nice. So I thought that was sad to put that on the profile, but in the review. But Anyways, a very informative review, so good work on that. And then Norman Joseph Wisdom, Order of the British Empire. Born in 1915, passed away again, just 5 years shy of 100, and on the Isle of Man. Is the Isle of Man part of the UK, or is it its own separate entity? Oh, Max is gone. Do you know? We don't know. Hillary might know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, lots of people might know. But I'm just curious. He was born on the 4th of February, 1915. His father was a chauffeur, his mother a dressmaker. He had many different jobs before becoming a comedian. Errand boy, cabin boy, he was in the Navy. And then he could sing and play many instruments. Looks like quite a character.
Well, Norman said yes, probably to the question you asked, maybe.
So the Isle of Man is part
of England.
Okay.
It is. Okay. And that's it.
Woo!
There's my
some great profiles.
What's that?
Some great profiles, and Mags has M&Ms.
Thanks, Mags. I tried to go through them a little faster and give you a little more time, Sarah Sword.
Oh, it's okay. And then I think Hillary said the AO was a British honor.
Yeah.
I think that's what she meant, because she said that right after we were talking about the AO.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
The Isle of Man is a self-governing British Crown dependency in the Irish Sea between England and Ireland.
According to Google.
Oh. Self-governing British Crown dependency. Okay.
So I updated my computer the other day to Windows 11, and I don't know, I feel like my mouse isn't, I don't know. So we'll see. Okay. It's being weird. So forgive me if anything takes a bit. Okay, so our photos of the week, the theme is relaxation. Oh, hold on, can you see it? Let me show it. Hold on.
Not yet.
Technical difficulties. One moment.
So you've got it in the prep here. You have to hit add to stream.
Yeah.
There we go.
I just wasn't doing it. Okay. Relaxation. Looks like they're having a picnic. Yeah. Lizzie enjoying a picnic with the family in New Brunswick, Canada in 1890. That looks like fun.
Want to go for a picnic?
I'll look relaxing by looking at some photos.
At Bob and Renee's photos.
Yeah. I don't know who they are, but maybe some family members. Who knows? Camping. Annette Hennen on Right Relaxing. They're like a little cots in the tent.
Huh. Yeah.
Cool. I wonder, what does that say on the top? Best. What is that? Says best something.
Huh. I bet they had the cleanest
inspector.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Best inspection.
Look like the word inspector.
You know, at camp they would come and inspect your cabin, and if.
Huh. Is that an animal there? Is that a chicken?
A chicken? Camping? Oh, it's a farm.
Yeah, look. I think that's it's kind of blurry, but it looks kind of like a chicken. Maybe. Or am I crazy?
I was thinking a dog lying down, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a chicken. It's a chicken.
It looks like they're eating watermelon. Looks like they're eating watermelon with some chickens.
Chickens are waiting for the seeds.
David relaxing by the fire.
It's interesting how many relaxing photos are of people camping.
Yeah, I guess camping is a relaxing activity. I like how they have their stuff hanging on this pole right here. It looks like they're cooking something in aluminum foil.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
Just Kiki decided to join me at the same moment.
Yep. Harvey.
Milton Brown. Wonder what the cat's name is. In March 1956.
Wow.
Oh.
Sarah, I think you're on the wrong photos of the week.
I am?
That's what Janine Lee Eiselman Goodson is saying.
Am I on the wrong photos? I was looking up the current. Am I doing the wrong photos?
Is that a picture of June on the Appalachian Trail?
I thought that was funny. Appalachian Trail. But I don't think we've seen these photos anyway, so I
we
think
make our own rules.
I'm already committed to these.
You're committed to this.
I'm committed to these.
Okay.
Am I doing the wrong ones though?
Where do we find the list of
Maybe
the one
I
for the week? Is it the 52 photos of the week? 52
I
weeks of photos?
Have we seen these before?
No. We have not.
So we're going to go with it because if anything, we would have done this on New Year's Day. So look, we're not.
Yeah, there we go.
New photos.
We'll go for it. Well, because you can tell when it was uploaded. That was the 28th.
Yeah. I thought I had picked one that was 5 days ago looking at the tags. Oh, well. I think these are relaxing. So.
Yeah, we need to relax.
That's right.
Don't we look like we need to relax?
After all the work all the WikiTreeers did last weekend, I'm sure they need to so relax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look, now it's relaxing time.
Exactly.
We're having a little
picnic.
Relaxing for except the person who had to put all that together.
Yeah.
All that food.
Do you camp, Craig? Do you camp?
What's that?
Do you camp?
We had a secondhand motorhome when our kids were young, and we traveled all the way across Canada, and we did one trip down to Walt Disney World and Key West.
Wow.
So we did a lot of that, but that's as close to back to nature as we got is with a motorhome.
That does not sound relaxing either.
Well, it was fun.
Kids in the RV.
Yeah, it was nice.
Looks like she's on a cruise, maybe.
Yeah.
Aboard the Queen Elizabeth I.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's cute.
Sitting with Papa.
Yeah. That was the last one.
Oh, wow.
See, look. How I did it was I went to G2G. I looked up the tags, and I thought I clicked the one that was just a few. Oh, maybe I did do the wrong one. Because I opened the one by AON, and maybe I was confused. Oh, well. But now...
Chris Ferriello.
Now we have a...
surprise.
A surprise.
Ooh. We ready for the surprise?
I think we're all ready for the surprise. If anybody knows Greg and his toys, they're going to be excited.
Well, okay. So what I've got is here, let me just add it to the stream and I'll zoom in. So basically, I've got to zoom in the right window here. There we go. If you have DNA matches at any of the big sites, most of them allow you to download your matches and organize them in a spreadsheet. And if you get lots of matches, that's a good way to put them all in one place so that you can sort of keep track of who you're matched to and all those other little things you want to do. Ancestry, unfortunately, does not allow you to do that. There is no download button. There's no convert to CSV or whatever. And I was watching, I was part of a video that the Family History Fanatics were doing a year or so ago, actually. And they were talking about that because the topic at the time was organizing your DNA matches. And someone commented that it's unfortunate you can't do that with Ancestry. You have to sort of just copy it out yourself and do it. And I thought, there's got to be a way to do that. I mean, it's just a matter of doing some little spreadsheet programming. So I put together this Google spreadsheet that does that for you.
It's
And
gorgeous.
So
When he showed
magic.
Sarah and I, we both went, ooh.
So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see a little bit of the magic that's happening. So there are steps here, and I'm putting together a G2G post. The G2G post isn't actually done yet. So you guys have a sneak preview before anyone else on WikiTree knows. So that's your thank you for coming to this livecast and sticking around to the end.
What, you didn't pay them? I pay people.
I did not pay them, no.
Oh.
Yeah, Chris. Chris was there too. And anyways, there's steps that are written out that explain exactly what to do. But I'm just going to give you a quick demo here. Basically, there are three things. First, you have to go over to Ancestry and find your matches. Okay, so here are my matches, and then you just have to copy them all. Now you could hold the scroll down button and do it and scroll through the end of the page. But the best way to do it is to use a keyboard shortcut, and that's either Control A if you're on a Windows machine, or Command A if you're on a Mac. So you copy it, and then you go back to your spreadsheet, and then so the instructions tab is the one that comes up by default. But then there's a tab that says raw data, and this is where you're going to paste in the raw data that we just copied. So we did a Control A to copy it, to highlight it all, and then we did a Control C or a Command C on the Mac to copy the data into the clipboard, which is just in your computer's memory up here. And then down here in this bright yellow cell, so you can't miss it, you do a Control V to paste it, or Command V if you're on a Mac. And then when you paste it, the data goes all down this column, and then magically the formulas do all their work, and all of that information that was in Ancestry is now organized in a table.
Stephen Tomasowitz wants to know, will this be in the apps section of WikiTree?
It's not really an app. It's just a link to a Google spreadsheet. So I'm going to put it in the G2G post, and I don't know where else it would be good to have. If there was a free space page for Ancestry helps or apps helps or DNA supports,
we could put it on the DNA projects page under resources.
That would be a good place for it. Yeah. So you see, it just highlighted all of my. Now I've zoomed out because it occurred to me that I've got people's names here.
People are excited at how easy this is going to be.
Totally.
Wow, like wow, even I could do that.
So,
and your good friend Chris says, "Sweet."
Yeah. So now that you've got it here, what you might want to do, because each of these cells is actually populated because of formulas, you can then, the last step that you might want to do is copy this again and then paste it into another spreadsheet. Like this spreadsheet is full of formulas. So then you might want to take this and copy it somewhere else so that you can do other things by like sorting and all that other fun stuff.
And Joe, no, she hasn't done yours.
I just saw this for the first time today.
A little pushy there, Joe.
Did you do it?
The question is, because
yes.
my mom did do Ancestry, but I have my heritage DNA. Will you be expanding on this for other matching sites?
Well, my heritage does allow you to download your matches. So
okay. Just Ancestry doesn't want to. Okay.
In fact, there is one more company that doesn't allow you to download your matches, and I've created a spreadsheet for it. That's the My Living DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Every other company, 23andMe allows you to download them. Family Tree Maker.
I didn't realize Living DNA didn't allow that. That's cool.
What's that?
I didn't realize Living DNA didn't allow you to download.
Yeah, they show you 10 at a time on a page. So it's the same sort of thing as this, but it's a little more of a pain because you can only do 10 at a time. So that's set up. I have 10 instead of just all in column A. I've got 10 columns so that you can have up to 100, and then you could just replicate. So. But
I accused Greg before we came on of being the WikiTree Ever Ready battery. Like he constantly is coming up with new stuff.
So anyway, so there it is. And just because you guys are being so kind, here is the link to the spreadsheet. So even before my G2G post, if you really want to have
put it in the chat and I'll put it on the, there we go.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't. Okay, yeah, YouTube doesn't like to show it, but so somebody go ahead and write it down real quick. 16NNZ2QPDC.
Yes, but
it will be in the GGG post, and Megs is going to put it in the somewhere
DNA
else.
project and the DNA project somewhere, and it'll be here, so you can come back to whatever the time is. We're 55:42, and you can grab the link.
Yeah, just kind of scribble it down really
can we
quick.
put it in the show notes for the YouTube video?
Oh, I could do that.
Oh, there you go.
I could, yeah, right? I could technically.
So June is already doing it.
Done.
Hold on. I could. Hold.
Oh, Chris.
Okay, I'll do that
on Facebook and stuff, right? Yeah. So
yeah, Facebook shows the link. So if you're on Facebook, you can see the link in the comments. Just YouTube doesn't like links.
Oh, okay.
Sarah, did your mom not like the way you did your chores when you were a kid? She's like wanting us to give you all the work.
Oh no.
Yeah, she just lets me do all the genealogy work.
You wanted to see, like in the GGG post, I'll mention this as well, but I did demo this. So once I made the spreadsheet, I emailed Devin Noel Lee from Family History Fanatics. She was a WikiTree Challenge guest last year. Some of you may know her. And she invited me and Chris actually onto her live show. So there was one live cast where I demonstrated this there. And I also shared it with Diane Southard because I had taken a DNA course with her, and she has one of her team members did a demo of it, and it's on her website as well. And then someone just emailed me yesterday because they wanted to share it with some members from the Jewish community, and so it occurred to me then, oh, I have never shared this with WikiTree people, so it's time. So look for my GGG post, and hope that helps.
Well, I guess apparently YouTube did show the link. Maybe they changed something.
Well, I've all of a sudden got at least 13 people viewing the spreadsheet with me. So hello, welcome to my spreadsheet.
And yes, Betsy, you would want to update them every now and then because you get new matches added.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other thing, I shouldn't even say it out loud because I know this is going to come back to bite me. When I first posted in March, did the live cast, and basically that week, Ancestry changed its format. So
I was just thinking about that.
The American DNA page looked different than the Canadian DNA page, and all of a sudden I had a bunch of people who couldn't use it, and I didn't know why they couldn't use it because mine still worked properly. So I ended up having multiple tabs for different formats because I had to change the way the formulas work. So when inevitably Ancestry changes it yet again and adds more features or changes or moves buttons around or columns around, as soon as I'm aware of that, then I will revise the formula. And then there might be probably multiple tabs along the bottom, and based on what yours looks like would be the one that the one you choose. So there you go.
And Kathy says she joined WikiTree 6 years ago today, but it wasn't until Greg and Chris were on Family History Fanatics as guests that I got back into WikiTree.
That is so cool.
And we're glad you did, Kathy. Thanks.
Yes, we are.
All right. So unless anybody has any questions, and I'm pretty sure Greg is okay if you copying it to your own Google Drive. Yes, I guess just if you had to make any updates or something.
Don't make any changes to it.
Well, the link I've given you, I'm pretty sure is view only.
Oh, good.
I hope. Oh, wait a second. My data's in that too. Let me just remove my data. Sorry. The one I shared had my own data in it. Eeks.
Well, that should probably just deleted it all. So
okay. Okay.
So guys, if you copy the data, if you
you're
copy
not really related to the same cousins that I'm related to. Not many of them, I'm pretty sure.
It's view only.
That's what it should be, because then the first step is, and I didn't actually show you this, but is you go to File,
groupings,
you make a copy.
Yeah,
I should have done that. That really would have been a smart thing to say, because the first thing, you open it up and you go File, make a copy, and then it'll let you say make a copy, and then what I would say is Greg's copy of the Ancestry, and then you'll be able to find it in your Google Drive. And it really works best in Google Chrome. Even if you love Safari or Firefox or Internet Explorer, Edge, or whatever, most people who email me saying they're having problems, I suggest they use it in Google Chrome. Open up your Ancestry in Google Chrome. Open this up in Google Chrome. Do the copy and paste. If you stay inside Google Chrome, because it's a Google spreadsheet, it plays so much nicer. And the formula.
And so Excel is not going to be a good.
You can, at the last stage, after you've done your copy and you've got the table, copy that into Excel. But let the formula magic happen in Google.
The formula magic.
The formula magic.
Greg, talk about the groupings and the tags.
Oh, okay. So one of the things that you can't do here when you're looking at your matches, let me just do that. So you can see groups, right? And my son is a member of all the groups because he's related to everyone that I'm related to, and then some. So, you know, and my sister and then other cousins as well. You can see as you scroll down, looking at the colored dots, you know, there's various groupings. Because the way it works is it copies text, it does not actually copy these colored dots. There's no way of grabbing that information. So if you want to do some sorting by groups, then what you should do is before you do this copy and paste process is pick a group. So say I want my overland relatives. And so all the ones that have that particular color dot are now there. So now if I do a copy, Control Alt to copy it all, to select them all, Control C to copy it, go back to Greg's copy of the Ancestry one. Dunderhead here. And then I do my Control Paste.
In the yellow box.
In the yellow box, and it goes all the way down. It's going to take a few moments. Oh, come on. Yes, there we go. And then just those ones are going to be here. Now, what you might want to do then is at that point, duplicate that page. So I might even rename because this is my own. This is Greg's copy, it's not your copy, it's not the one you're downloading, but this is the one I'm working on. So I might just actually rename that page and say, this is the Overlands. And this one I'm gonna say is the Marcoux. And then I would I'd go back here, do the same sort of thing. And I'm gonna reset the filters, change the Marcoux family. And then do the same thing, highlight.
Greg, we love you. I love you. I love you.
That's very kind of you.
She can't speak for everybody else, but
she can't speak for everyone else. But and then I'm going to do. I deleted everything in column A, and then I'm going to go back to there, paste it, and there. Now I have my Marcoux side, and you'll see, of course, my son is at the top of both of those lists because he's related to all of those. But there you go.
Norman likes it. Norman says you can make individual copies for each group.
He's probably very glad
exactly
he joined WikiTree and watched the live cast for the first time today.
And I bet Norman loves you now.
Oh, thanks, Norman. I've made us go over time, though, I'm afraid. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
We have to dock your pay.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
By 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I guess we will go unless there's anything anybody want to ask real quick or say or do.
And people are working on. People aren't paying attention to us anymore anyway. They're all working on Greg's spreadsheet now.
You know what? There's one really funky thing that a couple people did. Am I sharing?
Yeah.
That I hadn't even thought of. When they said click, I say click here and paste. So a couple people did the double click, and then when you paste, all of it goes into the one cell instead of going all the way down. And the formulas just can't work that way.
It just doesn't work that way.
It just doesn't work. So just a single click. Just don't go nuts with the double click.
And Donna, we didn't even cover the challenge for this week or the fact that we have a date night coming up. So current challenge Zoom at noon for those who are interested. Check the Discord for the link.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Okay.
Like us.
Yeah. And then next week I'll make sure I select the correct photos of the week. I'm sorry.
I wasn't upset.
I like them.
Photos.
There was a cat in a
photos
chicken.
of our week. So
okay. we're gonna go. So goodbye,
we love
everybody.
seeing you guys every
Until
Saturday.